Okay, it looks like we had a longer session in the last lecture. So, we will try to make it slightly lesser this time. To begin with, we are looking at advanced method which will increase the rate of convergence of our iteration method, and when we say increase over what we can get with Jacobi method and Gauss-Seidel method. And one of the first methods that was proposed is what is known as the successive over relaxation method, and this method is it goes together with Jacobi method and Gauss-Seidel method as almost like a basic iterative method, because it is not very different from those methods. So, the idea of this successive over relaxation is that in the general case, in an iterative method, we have some way of determining xk plus 1 from xk, and there is an increment. We are in essence incrementing xk by delta xk to get xk plus 1, and we know that in the case of divergent, in the case of convergent schemes, and especially under asymptotic convergence conditions, then we are approaching the solution asymptotically from one side. Okay. So, if we are approaching asymptotically, then that means that we are taking steps, but maybe not taking as big a step as can be taken, and we are taking small steps. So, if we can increase the step size more than what we think it should be, because we are getting delta xk from the equation, and the amount of delta xk that we get depends on the iteration matrix P, and it also depends on xk. So, that means that delta xk is not constant, the step size is not constant, but we seem to be every time underestimating the step size. So, is it possible to increase it by a factor and thereby over relax it than what we can do, and that is the essence of this. So, suppose we write xk plus 1 equal to xk plus omega times delta xk, where delta xk is what we get using our conventional scheme. So, if you put omega equal to 1, then we have no over relaxation. So, we are saying that xk plus 1 is the previous value, and whatever your Jacobi method or Gauss-Seidel method predicts this delta xk to be, and we are saying that it is only asymptotically approaching, and it can be higher. So, can it be higher by a factor omega? If when you say omega is greater than 1, then you are over relaxing at every step. So, it becomes a successive over relaxation method. So, this relaxation methods are by which you can find delta xk, and you are saying that is more than that by a certain amount omega when omega is greater than 1. So, for typical Gauss-Seidel typical problems where you apply Gauss-Seidel method, although not in all cases, in the case where A is diagonally dominant is a good way of saying it. In such a case, you can show that omega can be less than 1, and this modification factor will not affect its property of whether it is converging or diverging. Okay. So, the method will remain convergent as long as omega is between 0 and 2, and if it is less than 0 or greater than 2, then it may diverge. Okay. So, that means that we can take any value between these, and typically when omega is less than 1, you say it is under relaxation. When omega is greater than 1, you say it is over relaxation. So, when omega is greater than 1, you are taking a step size which is greater than what should be taken as per the Jacobi method or the Gauss-Seidel method. When omega is less than 1, you are saying that it should be less than what it should be taken, what is estimated. If you are trying to speed up the rate of convergence, speed up the number of steps that are required to get to your objective of getting close enough to the true value, then you would like an over relaxation omega to be greater than 1. Okay. But if you suspect For example, this delta xk estimate itself is subject to errors because you are solving a set of equations and you are making assumptions about, because of coupling or nonlinearity, you are making assumptions about what is the delta xk. That is, when you are trying to solve nonlinear algebraic equations or a set of equations, then you could say, for the sake of safety, for the sake of convergence, you could say that I will under relax, I will not take the full value that is predicted, I will only take part of the value. So, then you could say that I will take omega to be between 0 and 1, you will be under relaxing. But here our Ax equal to b is a linear equation, linear algebraic equations, and we do not have to worry about under relaxation. We can definitely use over relaxation, and when A is diagonally dominant, we can take omega to be anything between 1 and 2, and we can do that over relaxation. So, once you put a value to omega here, then given that you have delta xk determined by Jacobi method or whatever method. So, if you use Gauss-Seidel method, this is equivalent to saying that xk equal to mx xk plus 1 equal to mxk minus 1 plus n. In that m is d by omega minus e, and n is 1 minus omega by omega times d plus f, where d is the diagonal terms of A and E is those terms which are below the diagonal, and f are the terms which are above the diagonal. So, with this notation, for a given A in Ax equal to b, you can directly find m and n as per the Gauss-Seidel method with this extra factor omega which is added, and we take for over relaxation omega to be between 1 and 2. So, this will give us an iteration scheme like this. So, now you have xk plus 1 equal to d by omega minus e inverse of this whole thing here, and what we would like to say is that in this case, if you put this as xk plus 1 equal to pxk plus q, this p here is different from the p that you have with GS, with the Gauss-Seidel method. What it means is that its convergence rate is affected by the change that you are making, and the change that you are making is omega here. If you take omega to be 1, then this thing will go to 0 and you will have d by 1 is d, and you will get back to Gauss-Seidel method. If omega is greater than 1, then you have extra influence of the diagonal elements here and these things here. So, that will mean that you have an iteration matrix which is different from what you have with the Gauss-Seidel method, and therefore, it will have a different convergence behavior. Okay. Now, although we are putting it like this in terms of these inverses, as before, as in the case of Jacobi method and Gauss-Seidel method, we do not do matrix inversion directly. This whole thing can be written just like we wrote in the Gauss-Seidel method, except that we put this a11 x1 k plus 1 here, and then we have this a11 x1 k minus omega times this whole thing. And what is omega times? a11 x1 k plus a12 x2 k, that is all the elements at the previous time step minus b1, and this whole thing is minus b1. So, this is, it will be b1 times omega minus this value and plus this value here. And similarly for x2k, it is a22 x2k minus omega times this whole thing, where since we know x1 as the updated value, we make use of the updated value. So, as far as evaluating as per the successive over relaxation is concerned, we are adding one multiplication here, omega times this, and then this is okay, we can, depending on how it is computed, it is either already computed or it is there, and this gives a subtraction. So, and then this whole thing is divided by a11. So, I can see as a result of this maybe one or two more multiplications per equation, and since you have equation here is like that for a sparse matrix, you have only a certain number of non-zero components here. The total number of arithmetic operations to go from step k to step k plus 1 is not very different from that for Jacobi or Gauss-Seidel method, and it varies as maybe 6n or 7n like that compared to 5n for the case of Gauss-Seidel method or Jacobi method. So, despite putting this extra factor here, we are only increasing the number of arithmetic operations by n in this. So, it becomes an, instead of a factor of 5, you now have a factor of 6 or 7 depending on how you compute it here, and that makes it readily implementable, as easily implementable as the Gauss-Seidel method or Jacobi method. So, in a way it is a small extension to the Gauss-Seidel method, and just as Gauss-Seidel method can be considered as a small extension to the Jacobi method. So, these are all in the same family with the same kind of approach for solution. Now, what does it do to the convergence rate? We have said that as long as this omega is between 0 and 2, whether it diverges or converges is not changed. Okay. Convergence is assured, but at what rate? Now, the rate of convergence depends as before on the spectral radius of the new iteration matrix. So, that is involving all these omegas, and it cannot be computed for the general case, okay, for any case of A that may be resulting from the discretization like this, okay. But for the specific case of A symmetric and positive definite, okay, so then optimum value of omega. So, the idea is that this omega varies between 1 and 2 for the case of over relaxation, but the rate of convergence does not vary monotonically between 1 and 2. It typically it goes through a minimum or the number of iterations needed to reduce the residual by a factor of 10, that value which we are saying is asymptotic convergence rate. It reduces as omega is increased, it goes to a minimum and then it starts again coming back up. So, that means that there is an optimum value of omega at which for a given A matrix and for a given SOR method, there is an optimum value for which you will have the least number of iteration steps needed to reduce the residual by a factor of 10. So, it will have the highest convergence rate, okay. That what the optimum value is not known a priori, okay, but for the specific case of when A is symmetric and positive definite, then the optimum value for Gauss-Seidel method of SOR, okay, where delta xk is determined as per the Gauss-Seidel method, is given by this expression here, where so this is 2 divided by 1 minus rho square square root, okay, square root of 1 minus rho square. And what is this rho? It is rho is the spectral density of the optimum value of optimum iteration matrix thing, okay. So, where the Jacobi SOR is optimal, and for when this is known, when the optimal value of omega is known, then the spectral radius is defined as omega optimal minus 1, okay. So, this is the spectral radius for the optimal value of Gauss-Seidel SOR, and this itself depends on the spectral radius of this. For the specific case of Laplace equation with Dirichlet boundary conditions, we know all these things. We know the eigenvalues and we know everything about it, and the spectral radius of the Jacobi iteration matrix is cosine pi by m. Therefore, the optimum value of omega, the over relaxation parameter for the Gauss-Seidel SOR scheme, is given by 1 by 2 by 1 plus sine pi by m, which is roughly equal to 2 times 1 minus pi by m, and therefore, the spectral radius is given by this minus 1. So, that gives us 1 minus 2 pi by m. Okay. Now, how does this compare with the previous values? For the previous value, for the GS scheme, we had rho GS as 1 minus pi square by m square, and what do we have here? We have 1 minus 2 pi by m, and what is significant is that in the case of the spectral radius for Gauss Seidel, it is pi square by m square, and here it is m. And what is m? M is the number of divisions in the x direction, and n, the number of equations, is the number of divisions in the x direction times the number of divisions in the y direction, because that gives you the total number of grid points. So, in the case where the number of divisions in the x direction and y direction are the same, this m is equal to square root of n, okay. Whereas in the case of Gauss Seidel method without SR, m is you had m square here, so it is proportional to n. Now, what does that mean? That for large m, this 2 pi by m square, 2 pi by m is smaller than pi square by m square. Okay. So, that means that, and the spectral radius here is 1 minus this value. So, if this value is higher, then the spectral radius is smaller. Okay. When spectral radius is smaller, the rate of convergence is faster. So, for large values of m, therefore, we can expect the successive overrelaxation method of the Gauss Seidel thing to be faster than what it is for the simple Gauss Seidel method. Okay. So, for large value of m and in the asymptotic limit, the number of iterations required to reduce error or residual by an order of magnitude varies as square root of n, where n is the number of equations or number of grid points, and the total number of arithmetic operations required to reduce error by a factor of 10 varies as n raised to power 3 by 2 or n to the power 1.5, and this value varies as n square for Gauss Seidel method. Okay. So, that means that the arithmetic number of multiplications or divisions is reduced from a constant times n square to constant times n to the power 1.5, okay, or square root of n cubed. How significant is it? If you take million grid points, okay, then n square is million square, so 10 to the power 12, and n to the power 1.5 is million times square root of million, so that is 10 to the power 3, so that is 10 to the power 9. So, that means that instead of taking 10 to the power 12 number of multiplications, you are taking 10 to the power 9 number of multiplications. So, that is a multiplicative factor of 1000. So, that means that SR method is almost 1000 times faster than the non-SR Gauss Seidel method. Okay. So, that is the kind of computation advantage we can get if we were using the optimal value of omega. Okay. And the optimal value of omega is known only for certain special cases. If you want to find out for the true case, then you have to do much more and you have to know all the eigenvalues, and the determination of eigenvalues for a general matrix itself will take n cube number of mathematical operations. Okay. So, that means that we cannot look at we cannot say that let us take the matrix and let us find the eigenvalues and then try to find the best optimal value. All that is not possible, because eigenvalue determination is itself will take n cube number of operations. Okay. So, that is why only for certain class of problems under certain cases we know its convergence rate, and we know that it can converge very fast, okay, by a significant margin compared to the Gauss Seidel method. So, in the general case, the optimum value of omega changes with A, with the matrix, and so one may need to estimate numerically. So, that is you do for 50 iterations and you see by how much, by what factor the residual has decreased. for a given value of omega. For example, you take omega to be 1.5 and now you do another 50 with omega equal to 1.6 and see whether that residual reduction factor has increased or decreased. Okay. If the residual reduction factor rate is decreased, that is if it has taken you if the amount of reduction is more than what you had with 1.5. So, then that means that maybe you can go to 1.7 and then you keep on going like that until you hit the reverse trend. So, that is now you take 1.8 and you find that it has not reduced in the 50 iterations by as much as it has reduced with the value of 1.7. So, then the optimal value is between 1.7 and 1.8. So, now you do another 50 iterations with 1.75 and then try to locate that kind of thing, and then you can finally get an estimate, if not the exact value, you can get an estimate value of this and then use that value to continue to drive the residuals down to your desired value. So, that is how you can make use of this, but all this is in a way theoretical because it takes certain number of iterations before you can get into the asymptotic convergence limit, and it is under the asymptotic convergence limit will you have good success with the determination of the optimal value. So, the overall margin may not be like 1000-fold, it may be like 10-fold, it may be like 5-fold, but still it is definitely worth it. So, SOR method is a simple extension of the Gauss-Seidel method, and for the class of Laplace type of equations, Poisson type of equations, diagonal dominant conditions, it can be used very quickly, very effectively to improve the rate of convergence. In the next lecture, we will look at other methods having different kinds of philosophies for increasing the rate of convergence over these basic methods. Thank you.